Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, let me give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah HaKodash. The name of the Heavenly Father is Yahweh, all right? That is the name that he gave to Moses to pass to the children of Israel, to call him for every generation thereafter, all right? That is the name that he established as he delivered the children of Israel from Egypt. And that was the name given to the children of Israel to call upon to get back to the Heavenly Father. That is the name of Yahweh. All right, no variation of it, no titles, straight up the Heavenly Father Yahweh. Okay, and he has a beloved son. His son's name is Yahweh Shai. That is who came on the earth over 2,000 years ago and performed many miracles in the sight of the children of Israel, and also died on the cross and was risen again and currently sits on the right-hand side of the Heavenly Father Yahweh. His name is Yahweh Shai. That is the name that the angel gave to his parents to name him. That is the name that the disciples followed under. Okay, and that is the name that we are to call upon in this day and age, as it is written in the book of Acts, the 4th chapter, that there's no other name given under heaven whereby we must be saved. Okay, so the name of Yahweh and the name of Yahweh Shai is extremely important. Let me give double honors unto the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone that do rule exceptionally well. They continually feed the flock with 100% truth. They do this free of charge. All right, and they also magnify the name of Yahweh and the name of Yahweh Shai. I would also like to say shalom, salutations, mercy, and blessings to all sincere brothers that's out there that push this word with truth and with faith, man, striving to be a part of the hopeful elect and being proper servants to our power Yahweh through his son Yahweh Shai, man. Shalom unto you. My name is Tabawa Amath of Great Millstone Northwest. I'm coming back with another message. I'm not sure exactly which direction this is going to ultimately go in. All right, and hopefully it won't be too long, but I wanted to speak about pretty much the things that just transpired. Yesterday was the 4th of July. Today's Saturday, the 5th of July. Yesterday was Friday, the 4th of July, which, Americans as a whole come together to celebrate the independence, what is called as Independence Day. All right. And they celebrate the independence from Britain. All right. And this country being established pretty much. Okay, this great country that's here upon the earth, which is spoken about in the Bible under various different names. All right, under the name of Babylon the Great. That's probably the main name to think of. Okay, the virgin daughter of Babylon. It's also referred to as Nineveh. It's referred to as Sodom. It's referred to as Egypt. Okay, it's referred to as Basra. All right, it's referred to as Assyria. There's a few different names that it's referred to as. And the reason why is because when the prophets was writing their books, all right, when things was being recorded, it was being recorded in ancient times. And this country of America was not established at that time. All right. So the only thing that you would be able to do is liking it onto what was around. Okay. And remnants of America looks exactly like Rome. Remnants of America look exactly like how Babylon looked. Okay, the way that they operate is the exact same. There's really no difference, and that's why it was called under these different names in ancient times. All right, but I was curious as to why firecrackers was used on the 4th of July. I went to sleep pretty early yesterday, before the sun went down, so that way I didn't have to deal with all the pops and whatnot. I had fans going in my room, so that would kind of drown out the noise of the firecrackers. All right, but all throughout the day yesterday, you would hear pops and bangs and so on from people celebrating this place, Babylon the Great. All right, but I asked DeepSeek. Actually, let me come this way. I asked DeepSeek, why do Americans use fireworks for the 4th of July? And this was the response that it gave me. It says Americans use fireworks on 4th of July, Independence Day, to celebrate the anniversary of the Declaration of Independence, which was adopted on July 4th, 1776, marking the birth of the United States as an independent nation. Reasons behind fireworks on the 4th of July: historical tradition. The first Independence Day celebrations in 1777 included fireworks just 1 year after the Declaration was signed. Fireworks were a way to publicly express joy and patriotism. Two, symbolism. The bright explosions in the sky represent the rocket's red glare from the Star Spangled Banner, the United States national anthem, referencing the Battle of Fort McHenry during the War of 1812. John Adams' suggestion, this is number 3, founding father John Adams envisioned fireworks as a part of the celebration. In a 1776 letter, he wrote that Independence Day should be marked with illuminations, fireworks, from one end of the continent to the other. Public festivity, fireworks create a sense of unity, bringing people together for a shared spectacle. Cities and towns host grand displays, while many Americans also set off their own fireworks at home. Number 5, continuing a global tradition, fireworks have long been used in celebrations worldwide, like New Year's Eve, and the U.S. adopted them as a key part of its biggest national holiday. Today, fireworks on the 4th of July are a deeply ingrained tradition symbolizing freedom, patriotism, and the revolutionary spirit of America. All right. And you do have these grand firework displays in every major city. All right. Not even major cities, small towns will put on displays of fireworks during the 4th of July. Okay. All over the country, you have fireworks going off during the 4th of July. And spiritually, this is all representation of how this place America is going to come to naught. All right, because the grandest firework display that's ever going to be on this planet is going to happen here in America. All right, and it's going to look something similar to this. All right, this is just this is just a gift or a GIF, a GIF of a nuclear explosion. Okay, but this is going to take place all across the United States, and that's according unto the scriptures. All right, it's going to be many. This is the type of fireworks that people are precursing with the fireworks that they're putting in the sky. Okay, the fireworks in the sky is just a small scale. Especially with it happening all across the country, it's a small scale of what is going to ultimately play out here on the earth in the land of Babylon the Great. Other countries may get smacked too, all right? Maybe not with nuclear missiles, but definitely there'll be destruction that happens all across various countries, okay? But America, the United States of America, which is referred to as Babylon the Great in the scriptures, and also the land of Israel, are going to be completely destroyed, all right? Completely annihilated via thermonuclear destruction, okay? And that's according unto the scriptures, all right? Now, you can look at Jeremiah, the 50th chapter, Jeremiah, the 51st chapter, all right? You can look at the book of Revelation, the 17th chapter, the 16th chapter speaks about wrath coming upon Babylon the Great, okay? And so on. There's multiple scriptures that all point to the fact that this place America, or this place Babylon the Great, all right, is going to be destroyed, okay? Because this place has been nothing but a hellhole for the children of Israel. And you have a lot of our people that partake in this fireworks. They're not as crazy as Esau Edom. Esau Edom goes slap stupid for fireworks on the 4th of July, man. They'll spend, thousands of dollars. And this is just your regular Edomite will go and spend thousands of dollars for fireworks to pop on the 4th of July. All right. Jake ain't that intense with it, but Jake still goes and celebrates this country on the 4th of July, when this country has been nothing but a place of punishment for us. It's been a sore spot for us, man. Okay, so when you have Israelites, all right, according to their father's bloodline, that actually goes and celebrates these things, ultimately those guys are sellouts. Ultimately, those individuals are telling the Lord that they would rather stay here in hell than to separate from this place and receive the kingdom of heaven. All right. And as an Israelite, if you're someone who know that you're an Israelite, so-called Latino, Native American, or Negro, and you know that you're an Israelite and you claim to serve the Heavenly Father through his son, then you have no business participating in the fireworks or in the festivities of this place, man. Okay, whether it be 4th of July, whether it be Halloween, whether it be Christmas or Thanksgiving, all right, you have no business trying to participate in this, all right, because this place isn't this isn't for you, all right. You got Joel that speaks about Babylon being destroyed. Nahum speaks about Babylon being destroyed. Second Esdras speaks about Babylon the Great being destroyed, man. So on and so forth. There's plenty of Job. All right, there's plenty of scriptures that speaks on the destruction of Babylon the Great. All right, and how the Heavenly Father is going to ultimately send missiles upon this place. Okay. In fact, let's get in the book of Joel. Let's get in the book of Joel. All right. The second chapter. Let's read what it says right here. Joel chapter 2. Starting at verse 1, it says, Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord cometh and is at hand. For it is nigh at hand. A day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains. A great people and a strong, there have not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after it, even for the years of many generations. A fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. The land is as the Garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness. Yea, nothing shall escape them. And that's speaking about how the fire is going to burn. Think about 200 million of these things going off. Not necessarily simultaneously, but going off in short time with each other, man. Because the scriptures tell you that all it's going to take is 1 hour. I believe that's in Revelation. 1 hour. All right, in 1 hour, such great riches come to naught. Okay. We got this in Revelation. Let's get this. Revelation chapter 18. All right. Which, like I said, Revelation 17, Revelation 18, a few chapters in Revelation will, at a point, will speak about the destruction of Babylon the Great. It's all throughout the scriptures. And if you've been paying attention, if you haven't had your head under a rock, if you've been paying attention to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone, then you would know that this place is destined to be destroyed. That's what we are looking forward to. That's what we're looking forward to. Okay? You got individuals that try to call out Great Millstone saying that we'll be unprepared for Jacob's trouble. All right, because we're not out there practicing at gun ranges or practicing, police takedowns or marching in unison or, you know what I'm saying, wearing tactical gear. Because we're not doing that we're not preparing ourselves for martial law, okay? And that we'll be scared to come outside. Hey, the end all be all isn't martial law. You got to look past that, man. All right, there's a much bigger thing to be worried about than martial law. That's a minnow. Okay, we're trying to hunt fish that we can actually eat, and you guys are over here tripping over minnows. Okay, martial law is that's the least of your worries. Okay, because if you serve Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, and if your ways is good with Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, you got nothing to worry about. Now, when this fire comes, that's the dread. That's what you should be concerned about if you can make it past that. All right. Not how the wicked shall be punished, but how the righteous shall be saved. That's what the angel told Ezra to worry about. Okay, this is let's read right here, Revelation chapter 18. We'll start at verse 9. It says, "And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her," the her that is being spoken about is Babylon, America. All right, you have a lot of these different countries that are in league with America, whether they agree with everything that America does or not. They are one way or another in league with them. They got trade pacts, treaties, okay, defense treaties, defense pacts with each other, so on and so forth. America got embassies and what's those I want to say posts, but I'm thinking more of like just military stations and installations throughout these different countries. So the kings of the earth who have committed fornication with her, and a lot of these countries have been corrupted by the policies of America. all right, trying to follow after that democracy, okay, which ultimately just leads them down a rabbit hole of turning into a degenerate nation, okay, where women are completely out of order, all right, disgruntled, okay, the greedy corporations are ultimately in charge and sucking the people dry of all their money, all right, which causes a lot of contention, all right, between people. You know, it's amazing that people will come together to watch that the fireworks show when any other day they will be at odds with each other. Any other day they would be looking to get over on each other or to eliminate each other, man. All right? So there's a lot of people that a lot of places on this earth that has committed fornication with America. They followed after that example of America, okay? And ultimately destroyed the minds of their people, okay? It says and live deliciously with her, because a lot of countries are made rich off of doing deals with America, okay? Because America is a great consuming nation, the biggest consumer nation on the planet, all right? Buying everything from everyone else, okay? And not really producing much to offer out to the rest of the world, okay? It says, shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, all right? Man, I got to start up. All right. Realistically, it's the entirety of the chapter, man. Revelation chapter 18, starting at verse 1, it says, and after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having a great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all the nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. All right. So all these other nations are made rich based off of Babylon the Great, based off of America. That's why America has, it's not only the military might that America has that keeps it to where it's the top nation on the planet Earth, you know, the number one nation, where you have everybody on the earth who knows about America. All right. There's certain countries that you might hear of and you'll wonder, damn, where is that? Is that somewhere, you know, in the Baltic areas? Is that somewhere in Africa? You know, is that somewhere in the Pacific Islands? Like, damn, where the hell is that country at? You'll hear about that, but everybody, if you say America, everybody knows what you're talking about. Okay, people in South America knows if you say the America, they're gonna refer to the United States. Okay, you got people in the EU or in Europe, what they call Europe, which is really just Western Asia. But you got people in that area that if you mention America, they know what you're talking about. Okay, the whole world knows that America just celebrated Independence Day. All right. You got other countries that got holidays here in America. You'll never hear about it. But all over the rest of the world, they know about the American way. They know about the American holidays. They know about how America gets down with this and how America gets down with that, man. Okay? So they've been made rich. They've been in league, and they've been following the vibration of America. It says, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. Now, we do believe that there will be a physical voice spoken in the Lashwan Kodash that tells us to come up out of her, all right, when it's time for the deliverance and the destruction. However, there has to come a time before then when you have to play this out in your mind, and you have a number of men that are rising up here in Babylon the Great, okay, that are rising up and saying that they no longer want to partake in the ways of America, okay, even though we're stuck here, we're slaves here, all right, we don't have really the freedom to leave here, and on top of that, we believe that the Lord will deliver us from here. All right, but we're not going to partake in the ways of this place. All right, we're going to refuse it. All right, we're not going to go out there and wait till 10 o'clock at night when the sun finally goes down to pop some damn fireworks, man. All right, or go to the show to watch it and whatnot. Even if your kids want to see it, man, you have to separate yourself. You have to come out of her. All right, you got to separate yourself from America. There's certain things that people will use their kids as an excuse. Oh, for the kids, for the kids. Your kids will be better off knowing the ways of the Lord than being able to partake in the festivities of America, man. All right? If you truly love your child, you would not allow them to partake in this shit, man. Okay? It says, "For her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High have remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works. In the cup which she hath filled, fill to her double. How much she have glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her." All right? Because this place, America, gets by destabilizing and jacking up the other countries and economies around the world. Okay, that's how its economy is able to stay afloat, is because it goes over to a nation that may be poorer, okay, in Central or South America, in Africa, all right, in Asia somewhere, okay. It'll go and it will fund that country to be able to steal its resources, or it'll topple its government, okay, put it in a puppet government so that way it can steal its resources. It's living deliciously on all the rest of the nations, man, okay. It says, it glorifies itself. America, fuck yeah. All this America's number one, all of that. Yeah, you're gonna be the number one place that catches that thermonuclear destruction. Let's pull up that GIF one more time. All right, this is good. This is gonna be the place that receives the number one, the ultimate fireworks show. Okay, and only the elect of the nation of Israel. Well, I suppose the rest of the world will be able to witness it as well, but the elect's going to have a nice front row seat of watching the destruction of America from the chariots of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, man. Okay? What Apostle Gabar likes calling spaceships. Okay? It says, how much she have glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she have said in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow, and I shall see no sorrow. And that truly is the mindset of these Americans here. Yeah, they say that they're unhappy with their wages right now. They're unhappy with Trump's policies and so on and so forth. But they don't think that they could be touched. They don't think that militarily, you know, they always think that the fight's going to be distant and far off across the water somewhere. They don't think of it being in their actual backyard. Okay, they don't think of anything happening here in the United States to them outside of like maybe one event here every couple of years or something. You know, an explosion or something. I think somebody said something about Philadelphia, which I'm gonna have to look more into it. But there was a report of an explosion in Philadelphia recently, within the past 2 days. All right, like I said, I might have to look more into it. We got a fact check now because we are in a time where a lot of disinformation is going out. But ultimately, this place hasn't been touched. That's why it says she sits a queen and no, not a widow, and should not see sorrow. That's how these people feel. All right, they don't feel like it's going to be their husbands that die. They don't feel like it's their sons that's going to die. Okay. It says, therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord power who judgeth her. All right, so she's going to be utterly burned with fire, man. These fireworks is going to be going off from sea to shining sea, man. The whole continental U.S. That's what we read in DeepSeek. Let's pull up DeepSeek. I think it's John Adams had mentioned. Yep, right here, number 3, John Adams' suggestion. Founding father John Adams, which he was one of the presidents. I want to say he was like the second, maybe the third president. I forget the order of the presidents. I haven't gone over that since being a child in school. Okay, because you know the lack of caring. It says, founding father John Adams envisioned fireworks as part of the celebration in 1776. Letters in a 1776 letter, he wrote that Independence Day should be marked with illuminations from one end of the continent to the other. So ultimately, there will be illuminations that happens from one end of the continent to the other, okay? In celebration of the destruction of this place rather than the birth of this place, because that's what these people are doing. Really, they're celebrating the fact that this is going to be, it's all symbolic. This is spiritually symbolic, man. The fact that they actually use fireworks and that every city that's in the country actually funds a fireworks show, man. Small towns, big towns. I'm come from a small city in Oklahoma. It's a little too big to be called a town, but it is definitely a small city. Okay, you can go across the entirety of the city multiple times in a single day. All right, you could probably go across the entirety of the city in an hour or two. All right, as far as like looping it, going all the way around it or whatever. It's small. But they put on a fireworks show, man. Okay. I remember the city that I actually grew up in, the bigger city, the major city that's there. They put on a fireworks show. Okay. Um, Coming over here to the West Coast, guess what? They put on fireworks shows. Okay, all over the place. There's fireworks shows that gets put on for the 4th of July, man. All right, from one end of the continent to the other, and ultimately, the Heavenly Father is going to have these fireworks going off from one end of the continent onto the other, man. Okay. Let's read that again. Let's come back over here to Revelation 18. It says, therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord who judgeth her. All right. Now we're picking back up at verse 9. It says, and the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off for the fear of her torment. All right, why are they standing afar off? Because she's on fire. You know, when there's a fire going off, people, you don't stand stupid close to the fire because of the heat, the possibility of you yourself getting burned. You will stand afar off. Anytime something's on fire and people are watching the fire, they're watching it from a distance, man. Okay. So they're standing afar off for fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. Okay? So it's only going to take 1 hour for this place to receive that ultimate judgment. Now, does that mean the fire only lasts for an hour? No, that means that it being set on fire from sea to shining sea, the whole continental United States will be set on fire within an hour, to where nothing's left. Everything will be destroyed, man. Okay, and the only thing that will be left is fires burning. Okay, fires burning, destruction and smoke. That's what will be here. All right, all within 1 hour. So you got people that celebrate this 4th of July. They're popping fireworks. They're doing it all day long, but the real fireworks show doesn't come until it gets dark out, to where you can see all the colors and whatnot. All right. But for America, when America's destruction happens, it's going to be seen. Everybody around the world is going to know what has happened. All right. It's going to cause earthquakes. All right. It's going to be televised. All kinds of things. Every eye shall see. Okay. It says, and the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise any more. The merchandise of gold and of silver and precious stones and of pearls and fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet and all thine wood, and all manner vessels of ivory and all manner vessels of most precious wood and of brass and iron and marble and cinnamon and odors and ointment and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour and wheat and beasts and sheep and horses and chariots and slaves and souls of men. For the fruits that thy soul lusteth after are departed from thee, and all things which are dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all. All right, all this American shit, man, is all going to be gone. Okay, McDonald's is gone. After the destruction of America, Yahweh Shai's taking over the earth. All right, all the wickedness that was going on, all that's going to be put out, man. All right, your Chick-fil-A is gone. Okay, your Dollar General is gone. Okay, or Dollar Tree or Family Dollar or whatever it is that's close to you. Okay, no more of any of that. We're going back onto the ways that the Heavenly Father had originally intended for the earth. It says, the merchants of these things which were made rich by her shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing, saying, alas, alas, that great city that was clothed with fine linen and purple and scarlet, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. Speaking about the riches that this place has, because America has more billionaires per capita than anywhere else, man. Okay, America is by far it's the country that's in the most debt on this planet, and it's the richest country on this planet, man. Okay. It says, for in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught. In 1 hour, this place and all of its so-called glory is going to come to naught. All right, all the heathens' favorite tourist spots that they like to come and take their vacation at here in America, it's all gone. It'll no longer be here, man. After a single hour, man. An hour goes by pretty quick. All right, an hour goes by pretty quick, man. Especially when you got something to do. All right, an hour goes by pretty quick. Or when you don't, that you only got one more hour and then you have to do something and you don't really want to do it, that hour will go by quick, man. Okay, It says, and every shipmaster and all the company of ships, all the company in ships and sailors and as many as trade by sea stood afar off and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? Yeah, where else in the world are we going to be able to make the money for merchandise like we did from America? All right, you got all the people of America just constantly buying things, things made overseas. All right, almost anything you can pick up in your house was made overseas. You might have a couple of things that's made from America, but most of it was made in China, made in Indonesia. All right, made in Malaysia, made in France, or made in somewhere else. Okay, made in Mexico. All right. It says, and they cast dust on their heads, uh, and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, alas, alas, that great city, wherein we were made rich, all that had ships in the sea, by reason of her costliness. For in 1 hour she is made desolate. So you get the point, man. All right, you get the point. There's many scriptures. You can go to like I said, Second Ezra is the 13th chapter. Jeremiah 51, Jeremiah 50. Nahum, the 3rd chapter. All right, there's plenty of scriptures that speak about the destruction of Babylon the Great, man, by fire. And again, I must stress that the fire is going to come by the ultimate fireworks show, which the 4th of July is just pretty much precursing. It's giving a preview for what's going to happen all over the country, from one side of the country to the other. There shall be fireworks, man. All right, the ultimate fireworks, though. All right, but hey, pretty much I'm gonna end it there. I'm gonna go ahead and close this out. Continue to cry unto Yahweh Shem Yahushai in hopes that we can get delivered out of this place soon, man, and that we can escape this great judgment. All right, shalom.